All right, let's just jump right in. You've got the talent, right? You've put in the hours, you've done the work. But how do you actually show people what you can do, especially without spending a dime? Today, we're going to walk through the ultimate roadmap for creating a killer professional portfolio using only free tools. Let's do this. And this quote, it absolutely nails it. We're in a world where a simple list of your past jobs just doesn't cut it anymore. Recruiters, potential clients, they're tired of reading lists. They want to see the proof. They want to see what you can actually do. And that's where your portfolio becomes your absolute secret weapon.
So here's the game plan. We've got a 5-step roadmap to get you there. First, we'll talk about why this is so crucial. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of your content. After that, we'll look at the free platforms, expose the hidden costs of free, and wrap it all up with a killer strategy for your entire digital footprint.
Okay, section one. Let's get one thing straight right away. Your portfolio is not optional anymore. It's not just some nice-to-have accessory. Honestly, in today's job market, it might just be the most powerful and strategic tool you have in your career toolkit. I love thinking about it this way. Your resume is like a flat, black and white photo. Kind of boring, right? But your portfolio? That's the full-color IMAX movie of your career. It's dynamic. It's where you get to tell your story, show off how you tackle problems, and really define your personal brand in a way a static document never ever could. Moving on to section two, and this part is so important. Crafting your core content. Please, before you even start looking at cool website builders, you have to know what you're actually going to put in it. It's always strategy before technology. So, 4 to 10 pieces. That might sound like a pretty small number, right? But that's the whole point. Choosing your projects takes real discipline. The number one mistake people make is just throwing everything they've ever done into a portfolio. Don't do that. You want a curated gallery, not a digital garage sale. Aim for 4 to 10 of your absolute best, most relevant projects. It is all about quality over quantity. A really high-impact portfolio, it's got a solid structure. Let's break it down into these 3 essential pillars. First, you need a killer professional pitch. Second, you need to detail your work in a compelling way. And third, you have to demonstrate your value with some good old-fashioned social proof. Your elevator pitch, or your bio, is the very first thing people are going to see. So you've got to make it count. In just 2 or 3 short paragraphs, you need to grab their attention. Ask yourself, what's my professional superpower? What's the one thing I do that makes me unique? This is not your life story, okay? It's a sharp, memorable hook that tells people exactly who you are and why you're awesome at it. Now, let's talk about your work samples. And please, do not just upload a screenshot and call it a day. You have to give it context. For every single project, explain what your role was, what tools you used, and this is the absolute game changer, show the outcome. Give me numbers. Did you increase sales by 20%? Did you boost engagement by 50%? Data is what turns a pretty picture into a compelling story about your impact. And that leads us right to the power of social proof. A vague testimonial like, she's great to work with is, well, it's nice, but it's kind of useless. You need specifics. Get quotes from clients or former colleagues that say something concrete, like, her UX redesign increased our user retention by 15% in the first quarter. See the difference? That's infinitely more powerful. It validates your skills and builds instant credibility. All right, so we've got our content strategy locked down. Now we can move on to the fun part, choosing your platform. Think of this as heading to the hardware store to pick out the perfect tool for the job. And really, the first big choice you have to make is this. Do you want a standalone website builder, your own little corner of the internet? Or do you want to be part of a community-focused social network where you can get discovered? There's no right or wrong answer. It totally depends on your field and what your goals are. If you're going the website route, Weebly and Wix are the 2 big contenders in the free space. Weebly is fantastic for beginners. It's super easy, drag and drop, you can't really mess it up, but you do sacrifice some creative freedom. Wix, on the other hand, gives you total design control, which is perfect for creatives. The major drawback, though, once you pick a template, you are locked in. You can't switch. And of course, both will stick their brand name right in your URL. Now, for those of you in creative fields, platforms like Behance and Dribbble are absolute powerhouses. Behance is like this huge, sprawling city with over 24 million members, which is amazing for discovery, but it also makes it really hard to stand out. Dribbble is the go-to spot for UX/UI designers, but it's primarily built for showing off static images, which can feel a little limiting sometimes.
Okay, time for a really important section. The word free is incredibly tempting, isn't it? But it almost always comes with hidden costs. So let's pull back the curtain and talk about the critical trade-offs you're making when you go with a free platform.
Just look at this comparison. Which one would you rather put on a business card? A URL like yourname.weebly.com doesn't just look a bit amateurish, it's actively advertising for another company. Whereas a custom domain, yourname.com, immediately establishes your brand and signals to the world that you are a serious professional.
So at the end of the day, it all boils down to these 4 big compromises. First, branding. Your URL isn't yours. Second, performance. Free servers are often slow, and a slow site looks unprofessional. Third, SEO. Free sites have a really tough time showing up in Google searches. And finally, control. You have none. They can put ads on your site, and if something goes wrong, you have 0 customer support. All right, on to our final section. Let's talk about taking your portfolio and turning it into a powerful, multi-platform digital footprint. This is where you go from just having a website to having a real cohesive strategy.
The most effective strategy out there is the hub-and-spoke model. Your personal portfolio website is the central hub. It's the one place that you completely own and control. Then, platforms like LinkedIn, Behance, or Twitter act as the spokes. You use them to engage with people, to network, and to consistently drive all that traffic back to your central hub. And this, of course, leads to the big question for anyone who's serious about their career. When is it time to ditch the free plan and actually make an investment in yourself? A free portfolio is a great starting point, but it's not the final destination. So here's your checklist. It's time to upgrade when that custom domain becomes a non-negotiable for your brand. It's time to upgrade when your site starts getting slow because you have too much content or traffic. It's time to upgrade when you want to start attracting clients through Google searches. And finally, it's time to upgrade when you're just tired of the trade-offs and you need complete professional control and support. So I'll leave you with this final question to think about. As you build your online presence, constantly ask yourself this: is this portfolio an asset that's building my career, or is it just a free advertisement for someone else's brand? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about what to do next.